What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are we doing out here today on this Wednesday morning, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into another episode here of the Arizona Sports Fan. If you guys are just new here, definitely do me one huge favor. Smack the like button on this video. First thing y'all should be doing, smacking the like button on this video and subscribing to the Arizona Sports Fan here on YouTube. Last time I looked, I think we were like 60 subscribers away from hitting the 11K mark. So definitely subscribe it up. It's free. But welcome in, everybody. Come one, come all. We are here to talk some Arizona Cardinals football. Just because it's the offseason doesn't mean we stop talking Cardinals football, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic Wednesday. Now, yesterday we had a live stream pertaining to Deandre Hopkins, right? And the report that ended up coming out, right? For the most part, the people that were here and that were rocking with me, appreciate you guys for being here, right? Now, just to kind of recap, or actually, I don't even have that screenshot anymore, but basically, it was a report that came out saying that the Arizona Cardinals were looking into trading away Deandre Hopkins in this offseason. And I kid you not, every time I post a video about something like this, right? Every time I post a video pertaining to some rumor, nobody wants to listen. There's always like one or two people. I'm going to wait until the official reporters come out. Okay. All right. That's fine. But when the time does happen, don't act like you knew the whole time, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just tell you that right now. Now, there's some more stuff to talk about pertaining to Deandre Hopkins. And if you follow him on social media, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I want to talk about. He ended up posting this today, and this is on his official Instagram. As you can take a look, he's got the verification badge right there. And he captioned this with him being in an Arizona Cardinal uniform. He captioned it, "Forever grateful." Now, is this a goodbye to the Arizona Cardinal fans, right? Now, of course, I did my due diligence. I went ahead and, looked into the comments to see if I was able to see anything. For the most part, everybody's, giving them like this kind of high five or, praying symbols, fire emojis, that type of stuff, right? That's what it kind of seems like. But this to me, I'm not sure if you guys feel the exact same way, but this to me right here means I think this is going to be the reality of Arizona Cardinal fans right now. There's going to be a realism here that this might be a real big possibility that Deandre Hopkins will no longer be an Arizona Cardinal next year in 2023. Now, if you're one of those Arizona Cardinal fans that said, hey, if he leaves, I leave, the door's right there. the door's right there. And not to be disrespectful at all, but please keep in mind, we're Arizona Cardinal fans through and through, right? Are not happy with a lot of the decisions that are made? Yeah, I mean, obviously, right? Especially if you're from Arizona, you know the pain and hurt that you've been suffering. But that's definitely not, I'm not going to turn my back on the Arizona Cardinals, personally. Especially because of what happened this offseason really got me a little excited pertaining to the future, right? Now, are we going through a complete rebuild? Getting rid of your best wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, that definitely feels like a complete rebuild, right? We don't know when Kyler's coming back. And yeah, it definitely kind of seems like it's, gray days ahead. But I mean, you never know, right? You never know. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals will be plucking a quarterback out of the draft. Now, I'm not talking about the first round, the second round, the third round. I'm talking about maybe somewhere along the lines of the fourth or the fifth round. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals can get their own Mr. Irrelevant. Obviously, not picking him at the end of the draft, but you know what I mean, right? Maybe get their own Brock Purdy for the new head coach to kind of, bring in here. Because truth of the matter is that, yes, Kyler Murray is the starting quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals as of right now, but we know how this NFL works, right? We know how this league works. I don't know if you guys heard the latest breaking news, but to me, it seems like Tua Tagovailoa is getting benched. Well, this is what it sounds like to me. I get the reports that came out saying that he's still not cleared medically. Okay, I get that, right? But to me, I think Mike McDaniels feels like he's got a better chance of winning with their rookie quarterback as opposed to Tua. Now, that's kind of just an opinion base more than anything, but we're seeing a different kind of movement going on within the NFL right now. And I'm not saying the new rookie that we're going to bring in, right, is going to be the one benching Kyler. No, I'm not saying that, but what I would like for it to happen maybe in the fourth, fifth round, because believe it or not, there's still some people that can throw balls in the fourth or fifth round. It's just, you're not highly coveted. You're not playing in those big time, big schools, right? Like your Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan. Those type of big schools are the ones that really get those quarterbacks in those top draft picks. But there's a lot of people that can throw the ball very, very well. And unfortunately, they just never got the opportunity. So maybe, right? Maybe it might be an opportunity for maybe a head coach to come in here and get somebody out of the draft, 4th, 5th round. And we can maybe hopefully get our own Mr. Brock Purdy and start something from there, because we don't know, right? We don't know how this is going to look like moving forward as Arizona Cardinal fans. But one thing I'm not going to do is turn my back on the Arizona Cardinals because DeAndre Hopkins is going to get traded. Now, I'm still in the boat by saying I think this is a choice of DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think this is a choice of the Arizona Cardinals, because it can't be a choice of the Arizona Cardinals, right? Unless it's a mutual agreement amongst the two, right? Maybe DeAndre Hopkins came out and pitched the idea, and maybe the Arizona Cardinals said, yeah, I mean, that sounds right? It has to either be a mutually agreement or this is coming straight from DeAndre Hopkins because he wants to win a Super Bowl. And for the most part, most people looking at the Arizona Cardinals don't think the Arizona Cardinals, no way in hell, is going to be able to win a Super Bowl next year because of rebuilding, right? So for the latest people that just came in here, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Subscribe if you're an Arizona Cardinal fan or if you just like this type of content, and obviously smack the like button on this video as well if you can do me that favor. What we're talking about is this latest Instagram post that DeAndre Hopkins ended up posting this morning, and basically for him saying forever grateful. Now, can this mean like, hey, he's just grateful to be in the NFL? Yes, it can mean that, right? Like maybe we're taking this a little out of context, but probably, right? We're Arizona Cardinal fans, we're NFL fans. Sometimes we jump the bridge a little too soon, and yeah, that might be a thing, but it's just awfully coincidental that how this is basically transpired. It's so, it's so cool. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's almost kind of seems like this is exactly what's happening, right? There was a rumor that came out. I made a video about it. I think it's 12 days ago now. I made that video. He ended up liking that tweet. He disliked that tweet. There was a report that came out yesterday saying the Arizona Cardinals are going to do this. And now we're seeing DeAndre Hopkins saying forever grateful in an Arizona Cardinal uniform. Like, I mean, he didn't do that at the end of the last year, right? I mean, so why, right? I mean, why? Now, I get it. We're living in a world right now that we're always trying to decode people's tweets, trying to decode people's, Instagram, posts. And I hate it too. Trust me. I hate that the world that we're living in right now, because it's always like, what if this, what if that type of thing, right? But for the most part, athletes find a really, really odd way to express themselves. And if this is the way that he's expressing himself, then honestly, if he truly wants to go, will it hurt me? Yes, absolutely it will hurt me. But if he wants to go, I honestly wish him the best, because I don't want to be the organization that prevents DeAndre Hopkins from playing in the NFL. I don't want to be that organization. I do not want to be that organization that prevents this man that's still in his elite level from playing in the NFL. I don't want that. Personally, I wouldn't do it to Larry Fitzgerald. I wouldn't do it to DeAndre Hopkins. Now, obviously, this has to be very beneficial to the Arizona Cardinals, right? This has to be very beneficial to the Arizona Cardinals. I'm already hearing people on this Instagram post, and not only that, but Twitter. People are like, oh my God, you're a Patriot. Oh my God, you're a Bear. Oh my God, you're this. Oh my God, you're that, right? You got fans coming out of the woodworks, because let's be honest here. DeAndre Hopkins is still one of the best wide receivers in the entirety of this NFL. He is. Top 5, top 3, wherever you want to rank him. Obviously, it's going to be very subjective to different people, but here's the truth of the matter. This man is still playing at an elite level. He's still playing at an elite level. DeAndre Hopkins missed more than 8 games. Or was it 8 games? So the 6-game suspension, and he missed the 2 last games. DeAndre Hopkins wasn't here for around 8 games or more. How crazy is that DeAndre Hopkins was still producing 700 yards and 3 touchdowns, over 700 yards, average 11.2 yards a catch. 717 yards to be exact, 3 touchdowns. And this man missed about 8 games. He's still playing at elite level, ladies and gentlemen. So what does this mean for Arizona Cardinal fans, right? Sometimes I get it, right? We allow the emotions to get the best of us. But if you really, really think about this, this is the best for the Arizona Cardinals to do. It is. It's the best thing for the Arizona Cardinals to do because we are in a rebuild mode. It's what it sure as hell feels like. We don't know when Kyler's coming back. And let's be honest. Ask a realistic Arizona Cardinal fan, what are we going to be next year? Now, I'm still striving for Sean Payton. I'm still striving for other, a good head coach. I'm not trying to accept mediocrity. No, hell no. I'm not trying to do that, but I'm trying to make sure that this is built correctly. And if you can get some assets for Deandre Hopkins, as much as it absolutely hurts to say it, you might have to make those hard decisions. I guess this is why not everybody can be a GM, right? I guess this is why. This is why not everybody can be a GM, because this is one of those situations where it probably makes sense, although it hurts to say, and although I don't want him to see him in a different uniform, this is probably going to be the best for the Arizona Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins is still playing at an elite level, in my opinion. Missed 8 games. Didn't play with Kyler Murray all the games that he was in, but he was still there. He was still out there producing. Imagine if you had him in all 17 games this last year. Man, this man would have been breaking some records in my mind. But it's just not the way that it happened. It's not the way that it happened. Now, how is this going to benefit the Arizona Cardinals? Being that he's still playing at an elite level, to me, I want to get a first-round pick. Truly. I truly still want to get a first-round pick. Now, it's going to depend, right? It's going to awfully depend who's going to be wanting to get a DeAndre Hopkins. Because if you're looking into somebody that's picking high in the draft, they're probably not going to give up their first, second, third, or I'm sorry, we're third, first, second, fourth, fifth overall pick. Although it makes sense because you're probably not going to find a talent like DeAndre Hopkins in those first rounds in terms of wide receiver. But because of value, I don't think that anybody's going to be willing to do that. Now, there is some teams that can very well give their first round pick to us, right? If you're talking about the New England Patriots, they got the 14th overall pick. You want to give that up? Let's see who else is out there. Dallas, they gave away Amari Cooper. Can they do it? Give us your first round pick. And not just first round pick, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be asking for more than that because we're dealing right now with a DeAndre Hopkins that's still elite in my mind. Still elite. Now, if there was a way to save DeAndre Hopkins from staying, I would love the new GM. I would love Kyler Murray. I would love the new head coach to come up and sit and talk to DeAndre Hopkins. Hell yeah, I would. Right? Yeah, of course I would. Anything we can do to possibly try to save DeAndre Hopkins, I am game for. But I honestly think that the road has been already cooked. I think the road has already been laid out. And per yesterday's report, it seems like Michael Bidwell, while doing these GM interviews, is telling those GM candidates that, hey, you might have to do this. And if you guys don't believe me, let me get that screenshot again about that whole tweet that was out pertaining to DeAndre Hopkins. Let me go ahead and screenshot this tweet here real quick, and let me put it up right here because that last sentence is basically what I'm talking about here. Here we go. Let me upload it here real fast, and let me show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Bam, right here. So you can read all of the stuff on the top if you want. I'm focusing where it says owner Michael Bidwell plans to express this to GM candidates. Right there. It says right there on the bottom, right between my story via the score and that whole paragraph at the top. That last sentence. Owner Michael Bidwell plans to express this to GM candidates. That tells me that this is already something that's going to be happening. Now, can Sean Payton come in here and save the day and say, hey, don't leave? Maybe. But if Michael Bidwell's already telling this to candidates that's coming in, I think it's as good as cooked. Honestly. Is D-Hop winning a Super Bowl here with the Arizona Cardinals next year? Let me know in the chat. Are they? Are they going to win the Super Bowl next year? Because we had so much hype this year pertaining to, oh my God, the Cardinals are going to win the Super Bowl. It's the next step, right? I was just trying to win a playoff game. I was trying to get to the final dance, personally. So we'll see. I mean, there's still a little hope, right? There's still a little hope, and nothing's actually set in stone right now. We're all going based off speculations. We're all just going based off of, little tidbits that we're getting from, these players and these reports that are coming out. But here's the truth of the nature here, ladies and gentlemen in the chat. I don't know. Why would this forever grateful Arizona Cardinals picture from Deandre Hopkins be posted? Why would it be posted right now? Now, there's no way for the Arizona Cardinals to trade Deandre Hopkins to anybody in the playoffs right now. So anybody in the playoffs, forget about it. Forget about it. But there's still some players, or there's still some teams that can very well use a number one wide receiver. Green Bay, they ended up losing Devontae Adams. I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers would love a DeAndre Hopkins. So it might be more of a possibility than people want to think. Just trying to put that out there. It might be more of a possibility than people want to think. I know people don't want to think about it. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. But everything is just getting way too loud right now. Everything's getting way, way, way too loud for DeAndre Hopkins and the rumors that are happening. Think he's gone. Somebody in the chat saying, I'm a little upset too. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I'm not numb to the fact that we're losing probably our best player on the offense, right? I'm not numb to the fact that we're going to be losing the best offensive player that we have. And I'm not numb to the fact that Kyler Murray is better with DeAndre Hopkins than he is without DeAndre Hopkins, right? There's a crazy statistic out there. Like, it's just like when Kyler has, DeAndre Hopkins and when he doesn't. And it's mind-boggling to see it. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm pretty upset too. It sucks. It sucks as an Arizona Cardinal fan. It truly does. It truly, truly does as an Arizona Cardinal fan to kind of sit here and say, damn, this is where we are at right now. So where do we go from here, right? Where do we go from here as Arizona Cardinal fans? Well, right, we got some playoff games to watch this weekend. We got Super Wild Card weekend to kind of go through, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see some really good games coming our way. But pertaining to DeAndre Hopkins, all we can do is wait. All we can do is wait. Because I don't know how much more can I express this, but this rumors, it had to come from DeAndre Hopkins. It had to come from DeAndre Hopkins. It had to. There's no way that I can sit here and say that this is coming from DeAndre Hopkins because of that no trade clause that he has in his contract. So I don't know, where do we go from here, right? Where do we go from here? So let me take a look here to see if there's any new updates pertaining to the Arizona Cardinals. I know, right? Not the best of news. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. I know a lot of people don't want to see it, but it's where we are right now as an organization. Is where we are right now as an organization. Let's take a look here. Let's look at the chat. Yeah, rebuild. Yeah, I think rebuild is what's coming. But I mean, just because we're a rebuild team doesn't mean we can't win next year, right? Because we've seen teams with the first year head coach get into the playoffs this year. We saw 5 of those rookie head coaches make their team go into the playoffs. We saw 5 of them. So, yes, rebuilding seems like a real possibility for the Arizona Cardinals, but we've seen 5 rookie head coaches take their teams to the playoffs this year. So, it's possible. It's possible that we can shock the world, right? Maybe we can get a quarterback that can go 500. And then when Kyler comes back, maybe Kyler can give us what we need: the boost, the morale, the extra juice to take that, that next leap, right? Who knows? I'm seeing. I don't know how much more else to express this to everybody in the chat. This is I don't think this is you take this person or you leave that person. It's nothing to do with you get rid of this person and keep D-Hop. It's nothing to do with that. This is a decision made by the wide receiver. He made a business decision. Come on. I mean, let's be realistic here. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that this man didn't request to get out. Now, I know we talked about it yesterday pertaining to Kyler Murray, and I know a lot of people were saying that him and Kyler Murray don't they feel like he doesn't want to, be here because of Kyler. I mean, right? I mean, that's all kind of, hearsay. We don't really 100% know, but I mean, I see the point and where people are coming from. But if these reports came out, I mean, it can't be something the Arizona Cardinals initiated. It can't be. It can't be. It can't be something the Arizona Cardinals initiated because he's got a no trade clause. So it needs to be either mutually or he came out and said, "Hey, I'm going to go." I mean, right now we're set up with the 3rd overall pick right now. I think most people already know who I want, right? We got to go defensive line, especially in this 3rd overall spot. You got the Chicago Bears probably going for that first top tier defensive lineman. Whoever they don't get, we get the other person. Because in my mind, Houston is getting a quarterback. If Houston doesn't get a quarterback, then damn. Then damn. Ethan, what's up, brother? Appreciate the super chat. Send him to Green Bay for Jair. Appreciate the super chat, Ethan. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I know in Madden this might fly, but in the real life, I think if Aaron Rodgers does come back and we say, "Hey, we're getting you DeAndre Hopkins," I don't think they're going to want to move off of Jair Alexander. That's personally. I don't think they're going to try to move off of him because they're going to try to go to the Super Bowl, right? And this man is an all-pro cornerback, and they're really hard to find, y'all. They're very, very hard to find. Cornerbacks, you can't just pluck them off a tree. As much as we want to admit, as much as we want to say Marco Wilson is developing, man, sometimes you have to have that dog mentality. Now, can you get and develop your way into that level? Yeah, you can, right? And we've seen some progression from Marco Wilson, but I mean, Jair Alexander is a very, very good cornerback. A very, very darn good cornerback. I just don't see a world where the Green Bay Packers would be giving up their top tier cornerback, which is very, very hard to find. Now, if the Green Bay Packers want to give us their 1st round pick, which is sitting in the 15th overall spot, and maybe a 3rd rounder, hey, maybe we can humor something like that. Because the 1st round, to me, I think it's very plausible for DeAndre Hopkins. If not a 1st rounder, like a late to mid 1st rounder, it might be a late one. Like, not thinking it might be a late 1st round pick. And the reason why is because his contract and his age. So it might be a late 1st round pick. If not that, a high 2nd round pick is what I'm looking for. He has to. This man is elite. Elite. What's up, Ethan? Another super chat coming up, Clutch. Appreciate you in the super chats, man. Thank you so very much. He says, this got me mad. I just bought my my dad a D-Hop jersey. Well, I kid you not. And I should have tweeted this, and I should have put this on my social media, but I believe it was a week and a half ago, or it might have been, yeah, it might have been 2 weeks by now. I ended up going to the Westgate's Just Sports. So if you don't live in Phoenix, you don't know what I'm talking about, but there is a plaza right next to Cardinal Stadium, State Farm Stadium, right next to it. It's called Westgate. There's a Just Sports in there, and I kid you not, there was a rack of jerseys from Kyler Murray for sale and DeAndre Hopkins for sale. And I looked over to the guy and I said, "You guys know something we don't know?" And then he said that, oh, they're just trying to make room for the new jerseys that are coming in, right? Because every year they get new jerseys coming in. And I was like, okay. But like, we all knew the rumors, right? We all heard that DeAndre Hopkins can possibly be moved off of, right? We know it. We've heard it. So if you want to get yourself a DeAndre Hopkins / Kyler Murray jersey, I recommend you go to Westgate on Just Sports, because right now it's half off. And they do have stitched ones. I believe it was like $50 and the stitched ones are like $80. So check them out. I should probably be sponsored by them, giving them a shout out like that. But yeah, it's crazy out here, man. It's crazy. I think the realism, right? The realistic nature for Cardinal fans, or at least myself, because I'm not one that gets over the top pertaining to like expectations, right? I have a clear vision of what expectations are for my Arizona Cardinals for this year, but like I knew realistically that this might be a real thing coming into this offseason. Yeah. I knew that this was going to be a realistic thing. And I know people are pissed off. I've seen it. I've seen it on social media. I've seen it in Twitter, Instagram. I've seen it all. People aren't happy. And I don't blame y'all to not be happy. But if you really think about it, I mean, it's kind of where we are as an organization right now. Getting a new head coach, trying to start new culture, bringing everybody in new. So we'll see. We'll see. And I said this earlier in the stream, but there is some people out there that said, I came with DeAndre Hopkins. Or some other people said, hey, what do they say? If DeAndre Hopkins leaves, I'm leaving too. I mean, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do about that. I mean, the realistic nature here is that, I mean, you might not have been an actual Cardinal fan from the jump, and that's fine. I mean, people jump on different teams every once in a while, right? But to me, I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here, right? I'm here. So we're going to go through it. I hope we can get a very, very competent coach. I hope we can get a coach that's still going to give us 6, 7, 8 wins, because I think our roster is still talented. Now, we're going to have to find a head coach that knows exactly how to use the weapons that we have and don't just depend on DeAndre Hopkins solely. Like, let's say, for example, DeAndre Hopkins doesn't get traded, right? And we get a brand new head coach. The mission and the goal for the new head coach is make our offense great without having to depend on DeAndre Hopkins so much, because that's what it is. Our identity was never there. Our identity was never existence at all. This 4 years was never there. You ask somebody, what's the Arizona Cardinals identity? Throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. Never established a run game. We never established a crazy amount of this is what we do very well in. And please don't say screens. Please, nobody in the chat say we do screens very well, because you know damn well that's a damn lie. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals, every time we do a screen, never works for us. Never works for us. But if somebody does a screen on us, God forbid, that's 15, 17, 18 yards they get on our defense. It's wild. Screens, Cliff Screensbury is a real thing. Like that should be his nickname trademarked. But I mean, right? We depended on an air raid offense, but we didn't have any time to get rid of the ball, because a lot of times it's like these routes need to be developed, and they're just not able to do so. What's up, brother? Appreciate the super chat, my guy. He says K1 is a coach killer. No real head coach will consider us. Damn. Went straight for the jugular on that one. Well, let's say this. What if we do get Sean Payton, right? What if we do get Sean Payton? What if we do get Jim Harbaugh, right? What if we get these coaches in? Will that narrative change? Will that narrative change out there about Kyler Murray? Because I understand why Kyler Murray is getting so much hate, right? Like there's so many people that listen to the outside media that it's almost kind of easy to kind of fall into that trap. Now, I'm not saying here that it's not all true. We've seen Kyler Murray be grumpy cat. We've seen it. And it's not a good look for teams. It's not good for morale. But we also seen the great side of Kyler Murray too and what he can become, right? Or what he can be. But we need somebody to sit him down and say, look here, young man, this is what you need to do. We need an established coach. We need somebody to come here and tell him, hey, we've been here before. We know what we're doing, right? I just think the respect from him and Cliff, which is not an excuse, I think it was out the window this year. So I guess my question to you, my guy over here. So if we do get a real head coach, right? Sean Payton type of coach, is that change the narrative, right? Does that change the narrative for Cardinal fans? Because let's be honest, if Sean Payton can't fix Kyler Murray, then Kyler Murray's head's going to be on a stick. Not to be, not being literally, but like there's going to be blood on the water, right? Even louder than it is today. There's going to be blood on the water. If Sean Payton can't fix them, there's going to be blood in the water. Let's just be 100% honest with you here. So Kyler Murray, is for his best interest to really, really, really get good when he comes back in sometime in October or November or December or whenever he's coming back. Let's get through these super chats. Appreciate you. We have no F's given saying, cut Rondo Moore and AJ, keep Hollywood and Dortch. I'm down with keeping Dortch 100%. I don't see a world that we don't keep Rondell though. Although I don't fully trust Rondo Moore's being able to stay healthy, right? I don't fully trust that Rondo Moore is leaps and bounds better than Greg Dortch. Even if he's slightly better, to me, it's not enough to bench Dortch. But honestly, I've loved what I've seen from Greg Dortch, and I've been a big advocate of Greg Dortch. A big advocate of him. And I at least got a few comments come through and said, oh my God, what, did you go to high school with him? Why do you like him so much? Because truly, when he's on the field, this man makes a difference. Truly. Compare the stats. Rondo Moore and Greg Dortch. I'll let you do that on your own. Trevor, what's up, Trevor? It says, if it does not change, we may have to move. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And now we're going to have another issue on our hands next year, which I get it. Some people want to rip it off like a Band-Aid, but the last thing we want to do is move off a Kyler Murray that was, to me, set out to fail from the jump. If we trade him off somewhere and he excels over there, we're going to look stupid like we always do. Right? So yeah, this is going to be the opportunity for Kyler Murray to come out and say, okay, let's get it going, right? We got rid of the coach that obviously you don't get along with. And if somebody's going to sit here and say, oh, you don't know that for sure, y'all, you use your eyes, or if not, just chill. Because we know damn well right now that Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury didn't really ever see eye to eye with each other. Let's be honest. So yeah, Kyler Murray is coming soon, whether you want to admit it or not. I know there's a lot of Cardinal fans that are actually Cardinal fans because of Kyler Murray. So this year, we might get rid of Deandre Hopkins, might lose fans. Next year, if Kyler Murray doesn't get better, might lose fans. So it's like, okay, well, we know who the Arizona Cardinal fans actually truly are, right? Because I'm a Cardinal, I'm a Kyler Murray fan too, but through and through, I'm a Cardinal fan. I want the best for this organization. I want a Super Bowl to Arizona. I don't care who does it. I don't care if it's Joe Flacco. I don't care if it's, let's name a ridiculous quarterback out there. Sam Bradford coming back here, reviving his career. If he wins a Super Bowl, he wins a Super Bowl. Now, granted, they're not going to. I know it. But what I'm saying is I can care less as long as they get the job done. I'm a Cardinal fan through and through. The players are important. Yes, I agree. But I'm a Cardinal fan. It sucks. I agree. It does suck. Oh, 100%. I'm not happy about this. No, I'm not happy at all. I mean, don't take my what's it called? My calm demeanor right now as something that I'm happy about. I'm not. Oh no, I'm not happy about this at all. I'm actually kind of disgusted. I'm actually kind of upset about it because we've wasted what 2 or 3 years of DeAndre Hopkins' prime coming to this organization with a leadership like Steve Keim, which we've been talking about Steve Keim on this channel for a hot second now, and nothing to do with him personally. But I'm a big advocate of leadership. I'm a big advocate of holding yourself accountable. And I'm not saying uh, Keim needed to fire himself. I mean, he put his resignation in. Put his resignation in. Now, was that forced from Michael Bidwell and slap a sticker on it, called it health-related issues? Who knows? But if you can't get the job done, why are you here? It's what it is. It's what it is. So, yeah, I'm not happy. Not happy. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Hopefully, we have at least 100 likes up in here right now. We have over 100 people right now watching. Thank you so very much for being here. Subscribe to the Arizona Sports Fan here on YouTube. We're on the road to 11K, ladies and gentlemen. 11K. And we're so close to getting there, so definitely subscribe it up. It is for free. Smack the like button. That's free as well. So let's hope that we at least have 11 or 100 likes on this video. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate it. For the new people that are coming in, this is exactly what we're talking about. Oh, not this exactly, but this is the report pertaining to it. And obviously, DeAndre Hopkins put this on his Instagram earlier today with a very sad DeAndre Hopkins face. And his caption says, "Forever grateful." So, of course, a lot of Cardinal fans right now aren't in the best of spirits. And I don't blame any Cardinal fans for trying to, cry and scream and be very upset and what's going on in this Cardinal world right now because, yeah, I mean, I was one of them that said that this Arizona Cardinals offseason is going to be so fun. It's what I said. This offseason is going to be so fun. Oh, and look where it got us. Damn, just more heartbreak. But that's just about being a fan of the Arizona. Or not. It's about being a fan of the team, right? So I saw somebody in the chat say, "Yeah, don't follow players, follow the team." 100%. Yeah, I mean, you do what you want, right? Your fandom is your fandom. I can care less. You do whatever you want in your life, but that's just the way I work. I'm a fan of the team. I like DeAndre Hopkins. I like Kyler Murray. But as people, I don't know them. I don't have that human connection with them, and nor will I ever. So my main priority is, what is this team going to do? So it's just what it is. It's what it is. So how are we feeling in the chat? I want to see if we can get down to the chat and see if you guys are feeling, hey, like this makes sense, or no, this is what we need to do. I want to hear from the chat right now. I want to see what you guys have to say, Bird Gang, to figure out, hey, if this is something that you guys are really, obviously upset with, if this is something that makes sense, like how are you guys feeling is basically what I'm saying. Let's take a look here. Have we learned nothing from the John Skelton and Kevin Kolb years? Well, that's the thing, man. Well, if you think about it this way. Think about it this way. A lot of people came into the Arizona Cardinals because of Kyler. A lot of fans came to the Arizona Cardinals because of Kyler Murray. A lot of people don't remember the Ryan Lindleys, the Kevin Kolb, the Derek Anderson, the Skelton. A lot of people don't know that, right? Between Kurt Warner and Palmer, those are some very scary days. Those are some very scary years. Very scary seasons. Terrible. A lot of people don't remember that. And sometimes you need to, we have a good quarterback, right? He just needs to stay healthy, which I get it. It's a bad knock because that's a bad thing. He can't stay healthy, then he's not available. I get it. But let's see if this new coach comes in and is able to build something around Kyler Murray. And I don't mean just weapons galore. I mean somebody to protect him. Been a Cardinal fan for 20 years, had huge hopes for Kyler. He needs to grow the F up. Well, I mean, Yeah, yeah, I agree. But I mean, what do you expect? So, and I'm not trying to say anything about degeneration of these of the new athletes that are coming. I'm not saying anything. But here's the thing: they brought Kyler Murray in this organization, and hear me out here. They brought Kyler Murray in this organization, and they treated Kyler Murray like this man was going to be able to walk on water and save this organization for years and years and years to come. That's how they treated Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray, in his personal life, guess what? He's a winner, right? He wins. High school, undefeated. College, he was very good. I mean, it was only 1 year, but this man was also drafted in the first round of the MLB draft. So you get a young kid coming in here and like, this man's going to feel like he's, right? He's going to feel like he's untouchable. He's going to feel like he's untouchable. And the moment that somebody's trying to coach him, especially a Cliff Kingsbury that has accomplished nothing in the NFL, he's going to say, you don't know anything, Cliff. That's why you're seeing all these things happen. Because I've said this in multiple streams. When things go good for the Arizona Cardinals, we can't be stopped. We looked great. But when things go bad for the Arizona Cardinals, boy, things were really, really bad for the Arizona Cardinals. And I mean bad. So you treat a young kid like he can walk on water? Like Kyler Murray? Of course he's going to give foot pushback to somebody who has not accomplished anything. Of course. You need somebody in here that's going to be able to coach him, to hold him accountable, and to really be the mentor that he needs. That's what you need. And Cliff wasn't that guy. Cliff wasn't the accountable guy. And you heard it in Hard Knocks. You heard it in the Hard Knocks episode when we ended up losing one of the 6 games because we lost every freaking game, it felt like. Cliff Kingsbury came out and said, hey, he said something along the lines of like, hey, I'm sorry that I expect, like us to be treated like men. Something along the lines of like, hey, I'm going to treat you like men. I'm not going to treat you like kids, right? But to me, that right there, it shows that there's no accountability for people that are doing things wrong. We can preach, we can talk, we can say all these things back and forth, but if the players aren't receiving the message and they don't think that anything's going to happen because Cliff Kingsbury isn't going to do a darn thing, then everybody's going to run rampant. Put children in a classroom and put no supervision in there. You know what children are going to do? They're going to roll that damn classroom up. They're going to tear stuff up. I'm not calling players children. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is it's kind of the same thing. You need somebody to be there and be like, hey, this is what you need to do. Hey, good job doing this, but next time you try this. It didn't seem like it ever happened with Cliff. Cliff was a very nice guy. Maybe too much of a good guy for a fault, right? Great guy. He seemed like a great human being. He truly did. But a head coach, just not it. What's up, No Evskin? Appreciate the super chat. He says, Mike, is there any wide receiver hitting the free agency in 2023? Let's take a look. So keep in mind that this list is going to be based off of speculations, right? So keep that in mind because you never know if somebody's going to re-sign anybody, right? So just keep that in mind. Let's see here. So you have, I'm just going to name up some players, right? I'm just going to name out some players. So Jacoby Myers, Juju Smith-Schuster, Darius Slayton, DJ Chark, Alan Lazard. No. Okay. The answer is no. The answer is absolutely hell to the no. There is no wide receivers that's going to hit the open market that's as equally or even maybe 2 notches below Deandre Hopkins. The answer is no. Absolutely no way in hell. So maybe that might be more of an enticement for the Arizona Cardinals to get what they want to get, right? Maybe. Yeah, exactly. I see somebody in the chat. Exactly. And that might be a lot more of an enticement for the Arizona Cardinals to get exactly what they want to get. Because if you try to sell people, hey, these are the free agencies that are free agents coming up: Jacoby Myers, Juju Smith-Schuster, Darius Slayton, DJ Chark, Adam Lazard, Marvin Jones, McCole Hardman, Jarvis Landry. You better bet your bottom dollar that someone's going to give us probably a first-round pick and then some. Hey, it might work out to the favor of the Arizona Cardinals moving forward. So I appreciate everybody for being here. I truly do. Thank you all the super chatters. But this is the realization. This is the realization here. Let me see if I can go ahead and update my Twitter real quick just to make sure that I haven't missed any updates pertaining to the Arizona Cardinals. Right now, obviously, we're going through a rebuild mode, obviously, right now, right? So we have a lot of news coming back and forth pertaining to, is the Cardinals going to, right, sign this person? Are we interviewing that person? That type of thing. So let me just do a real quick refresh to see if we have any. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here on my end, so I think we're good. This is what we mainly wanted to talk about in this live stream, and I appreciate everybody for coming through. I truly do. Truly, truly do. Thank you so very much. If you could do me a huge favor, smack the like button. Hopefully we have over 100 likes, because at one point we capped out at like 150 people here, so I appreciate everybody for rocking with me. This most likely will be the last super chat of the day. RV Davey comes up clutch. What's up, brother? He says McCarthy is getting fired. He's available. He said he's getting fired? You think? I don't think McCarthy. I don't know if McCarthy's going to get fired, to be honest with you. I don't know. If he does get fired, like let's say, for example, they get booted out in the first round, maybe. Right? Maybe. In the wild card, maybe. Maybe. I think it's for the best interest of the Arizona Cardinals to obviously really, really watch what's going on with these next teams in wild card weekend. We got Saturday coming up here, and it's going to be a lot of good football coming our way. A lot of good football. A lot of good football. So their team right now is in the playoffs. They've accomplished what we couldn't, right? They accomplished what we couldn't. And a lot of other teams in the NFL as well. But yeah, I'm not down with getting McCarthy either. I'm not cool with that either. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to everybody in the chat. Thank you. Thank you so very much for coming through. Like I mentioned a little earlier, been a pleasure. Is this Deandre Hopkins saying goodbye to us, right? Or the organization of, the Arizona Cardinals with his post here? It might be. It might be. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. It's been an absolute pleasure. As always, have a great rest of your day, and go Cards.